God says, listen closely, my beloved soul, because this message is not arriving by accident, and it is not meant for everyone. It is meant for the one who has walked through pain quietly, who has carried wounds that nobody applauded, who has kept believing even when belief felt heavy. I have seen you in moments when your strength looked invisible to the world, yet your heart refused to let go of me. Pain tried to break you, yes, but you did not surrender your faith, and heaven has been watching every step of that journey. There were seasons when you questioned why the weight was so heavy on your shoulders, why answers felt delayed, why relief seemed to visit others before it reached you. You smiled when you were expected to, even when your soul felt tired. You kept going when stopping would have been easier. You held on to prayer when silence answered back. And through all of this, I was closer than you realized. Faith is not proven when life is easy, faith is revealed when pain knocks again and again, and you still choose to trust. God says, I saw the nights you cried without making a sound, the moments when you asked me for strength instead of escape, the times when you stood back up even though you felt like collapsing. You did not become bitter. You did not turn cold. You did not let pain rewrite your heart. That choice mattered more than you know. Heaven records endurance differently than the world does. What looked like delay was actually protection. What felt like silence was preparation. There were people who misunderstood your quiet strength. Some thought you were weak because you did not fight loudly. Others walked away because they could not understand why you stayed faithful when life tested you. But I understood. I knew the depth of your trust, even when your words felt small. Faith is not loud declarations, faith is staying aligned when everything around you tries to pull you apart. You stayed. You believed. You endured. God says, pain was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to reveal what was already inside you. Each challenge refined your spirit. Each tear softened your heart instead of hardening it. Each unanswered question pushed you deeper into me. You were never abandoned in the fire, you were strengthened in it. The weight you carried was shaping you for something you could not yet see. You wondered at times if holding on was worth it. You wondered if anyone noticed your consistency, your patience, your loyalty to faith. Heaven noticed. I noticed. Faith that survives pain becomes unshakable. Faith that remains when comfort disappears becomes powerful. You are not the same person you were before the struggle, and that is not loss, that is growth. God says, I am proud of you for not letting pain turn you against love, for not allowing disappointment to erase compassion, for choosing trust when doubt felt easier. Many give up when answers take too long. You did not. You adjusted, you learned, you waited, and you stayed open. That kind of faith is rare, and it carries weight in the spiritual realm. There is a reason your spirit feels deeper now. There is a reason your perspective has changed. There is a reason you no longer chase noise but value peace. Pain taught you discernment. Faith anchored you. Together, they prepared you. What you endured was not random, and it was not wasted. I do not overlook faith that survives pressure. God says, you are entering a season where what once hurt you will no longer control you. The memory may remain, but the power it held is fading. You are learning to breathe again without fear. You are learning to trust without forcing outcomes. You are learning that your worth was never tied to how much you suffered. The strength you carry now was forged quietly, and it will support you gently. Do not rush the next chapter. Do not compare your timeline to others. What I am unfolding in you is rooted, not rushed. Faith that endured pain produces stability, not chaos. You will recognize the shift not through noise, but through peace. You will notice it in how your heart reacts, how your mind rests, how your spirit feels lighter even before circumstances change. God says, continue to walk with me the way you have been, honestly, humbly, patiently. You do not need to prove your faith anymore. You have lived it. What is ahead will meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. And when you look back, you will understand why holding on mattered so much. This message is not the end of the story. It is a reminder of who you are becoming. Pain tried to break you, but faith shaped you. And what faith shapes, nothing can easily shake. God says, my beloved child, now that you understand that your pain did not defeat you, I want you to understand something even deeper. What you endured was not just survival, it was transformation. Many people experience pain, but very few allow it to refine them without losing their soul. You did not become cruel. You did not become numb. You did not close your heart to me. That alone tells heaven something powerful about who you are becoming. There were moments when you felt like you were standing still while the world moved ahead. You questioned whether holding on quietly was costing you opportunities, connections, or joy. But what you did not see was that I was removing what would have broken you later. Some paths you wanted were not delayed because you were unworthy, but because they would have demanded a version of you that did not honor your spirit. I protected you by slowing things down. God says, faith does not always look like confidence. Sometimes faith looks like getting up again without applause. Sometimes it looks like trusting me even when your prayers feel unfinished. You carried responsibilities that were heavier than your words ever revealed. You learned to lean inward when support disappeared. And still, you chose patience over resentment. That decision changed the direction of your life more than you realize. You may not call yourself strong, but heaven does. Strength is not loud. Strength is remaining gentle when life hardens others. Strength is choosing hope when disappointment feels familiar. Strength is staying aligned with truth when confusion surrounds you. You walked through internal battles no one ever saw, and you came out with your heart intact. That is rare. God says, there were times you almost gave up, not on me, but on yourself. You questioned your value. You wondered if you were asking for too much or expecting too deeply. But I want you to hear this clearly, your sensitivity is not weakness. Your depth is not a burden. Your faith is not misplaced. You feel deeply because you were created to carry meaning, not surface-level connections. Pain taught you discernment. You now feel when something is not aligned. You no longer chase what drains you. You have learned to listen before you leap. That wisdom was not given cheaply, it was earned through endurance. I did not allow you to break because what is ahead of you requires emotional clarity, not confusion. God says, some people will not understand the version of you that emerged from the struggle. They knew the you who needed reassurance, but they will meet the you who is grounded. They remember your questions, but they will encounter your calm. Do not explain yourself. Growth does not need justification. Those meant to walk with you will recognize the shift without words. There is a quiet confidence forming inside you now. Not arrogance, not urgency, peace. You are beginning to trust timing instead of forcing outcomes. You are beginning to rest without guilt. You are beginning to believe that what is meant for you will not require you to lose yourself to receive it. That belief is healing you from the inside out. God says, your faith is maturing. You are no longer asking me to remove every obstacle. You are asking me to guide you through them. You are no longer demanding answers immediately. You are learning to listen. This is not delay, this is alignment. You are being prepared for stability, not temporary relief. Remember this, the pain that tried to break you also revealed your resilience. The loneliness that challenged you taught you self-trust. The silence that confused you strengthened your spiritual hearing. You are now able to sense peace before it appears. You are able to recognize truth without noise. That is not accidental, that is refinement. God says, I am not rebuilding you the way you were before. I am shaping you into someone who does not abandon themselves under pressure. Someone who values peace over chaos. Someone who walks with faith instead of fear. What you are becoming will attract what you prayed for without you chasing it. Do not underestimate the season you are in. Even if nothing looks dramatic yet, roots are forming. Stability is growing. Clarity is settling. You are learning how to stand without proving, how to love without losing, how to trust without anxiety. These are not small things. They are foundations. God says, I know you still carry questions. I know you still wonder when certain things will change. But trust this. Nothing you held onto in faith will be forgotten. Nothing you released in obedience was wasted. And nothing meant for you will arrive. Too early or too late. It will come when you are ready to receive it without fear. Let your heart stay open. Let your faith remain gentle. Let your patience continue to guide you. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are not broken. You are becoming steady. And what is built steadily lasts. This is not the end of the message. It is the deepening of it. What comes next will meet the version of you that pain could not destroy and faith continued to shape. God says, my child, there is a reason your heart still believes even after everything it has seen. Many would have closed themselves off by now. Many would have chosen bitterness as a shield. But you did something different, you stayed open, even when it hurt. That choice changed the spiritual atmosphere around you. You may not have noticed it, but the moment you chose faith over bitterness, heaven marked you for restoration. I watched you carry disappointment quietly. I saw you smile when your spirit felt tired. I heard the prayers you never spoke out loud because you were afraid they might sound weak. But weakness never scared me. Silence never confused me. I knew exactly what you were carrying, and I allowed it only because I knew it would not crush you. It would shape you. God says, you are entering a season where you will finally understand why things unfolded the way they did. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gently, piece by piece. You will look back and realize that every closed door protected your dignity. Every delay preserved your heart. Every unanswered prayer redirected you away from something that would have cost you peace. What once felt like loss will begin to look like alignment. You learned how to sit with uncertainty without running. You learned how to wait without demanding. You learned how to love without clinging. These lessons were not easy, but they were necessary. What is coming next in your life may still have days where doubt whispers to you. That does not mean your faith is failing. It means your humanity is present. Faith is not the absence of doubt, it is the decision to keep walking despite it. And every step you take in trust strengthens what is being built around you. God says, there is nothing wrong with you for feeling deeply. There is nothing wrong with you for wanting sincerity. There is nothing wrong with you for expecting consistency. These desires are not flaws. They are indicators of the life you are meant to live. You were not designed for chaos. You were designed for peace with purpose. As you move forward, you will notice something shifting inside you. You will stop forcing conversations. You will stop over-explaining your intentions. You will stop settling for partial commitment. This is not you becoming distant, this is you becoming selective. You are learning that access to your energy is sacred. God says, the strength you built in silence will soon support you in ways you never imagined. The patience you practiced will soon feel rewarded. The faith you held onto will soon feel affirmed. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you become steady within it. Do not rush this season. Do not compare your timeline. Do not doubt your progress just because it looks quiet. Growth often happens underground before it appears above the surface. And right now, something strong is taking root in you, something that will not collapse under pressure. Remember this truth: pain did not break you, and it will not define you. Faith carried you through, and faith will guide you forward. You are not standing at the end of something, you are standing in the middle of transformation. What comes next will meet a version of you that is wiser, calmer, and more aligned than ever before. God says, my beloved child, you have reached a turning point that many never recognize when it arrives. This is not a loud moment. It is not dramatic. It is not surrounded by applause or announcements. It is quiet, steady, and deeply sacred. This is the moment where your inner world finally aligns with what heaven has been preparing for you all along. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived here because you kept choosing faith when it would have been easier to give up. I know there were days when you wondered if holding on was worth it. Days when you felt tired of being strong. Days when you questioned whether your patience was being mistaken for weakness. But I was watching closely. I was not measuring your progress by speed, I was measuring it by sincerity. And you never stopped choosing sincerity, even when no one was clapping for you. God says, the reason you feel different now is because something has settled inside you. You are no longer fighting life the way you used to. You are no longer chasing validation the way you once did. You are no longer afraid of silence, because silence no longer feels empty. It feels safe. That is a sign that healing has reached its root, not just its surface. You survived moments that could have hardened you, but instead they refined you. You could have learned to close your heart, but you learned how to guard it wisely. You could have learned to mistrust everyone, but you learned discernment. You could have learned resentment, but you learned release. These choices were not small. They reshaped your destiny. God says, what is coming into your life now will not require you to shrink, perform, or prove yourself. It will meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. The connections ahead will feel calm, not confusing. The opportunities ahead will feel aligned, not forced. The love ahead will feel safe, not uncertain. This is not coincidence. This is the reward of inner work no one saw you doing. There was a time you thought strength meant enduring everything silently. Now you understand that strength also means knowing when to rest. There was a time you thought faith meant waiting without questions. Now you understand that faith also means trusting yourself when you hear my guidance within. You have grown into a balance that cannot be taught, only lived. God says, I did not allow you to walk through pain just to survive it. I allowed it so you would gain wisdom without losing compassion. So you would gain clarity without losing kindness. So you would gain boundaries without losing love. That combination is rare, and it is powerful. It is what prepares a person not just for blessings, but for stewardship of blessings. You are no longer in the season of asking, why did this happen to me? You are stepping into the season of understanding, what is this shaping me for? That shift changes everything. It changes how you respond to people. It changes how you make decisions. It changes what you tolerate and what you release without guilt. God says, do not underestimate how much your consistency moved heaven. You kept showing up with faith even when results were invisible. You kept believing even when timelines felt unfair. You kept choosing hope even when disappointment tried to rewrite your expectations. That kind of faith does not go unnoticed. It creates momentum in the unseen long before you feel it in the visible. Now you may notice that certain things no longer disturb you the way they once did. Certain opinions no longer shake you. Certain losses no longer define you. This is not numbness. This is peace. This is what happens when your identity is no longer dependent on outcomes, but anchored in truth. God says, you are ready now. Ready to receive without suspicion. Ready to build without fear. Ready to love without losing yourself. Ready to walk forward without constantly looking back. The chapter ahead of you will feel different because you are different. You are no longer becoming. You have become. There will still be challenges, but they will not confuse you. There will still be delays, but they will not discourage you. There will still be moments of uncertainty, but they will not shake your foundation. Because now, you know who you are, and more importantly, you know who walks with you. Let this settle in your spirit. Nothing you endured was wasted. Nothing you survived was meaningless. Nothing you cried over was ignored. Every moment carried purpose, even when you could not see it. And now, purpose is beginning to reveal itself in clarity, not chaos. God says, lift your head gently. Not in pride, but in confidence. You did not lose your way. You did not fall behind. You did not miss your moment. You were being prepared for it. And now, the preparation has done its work. What comes next will feel like confirmation, not surprise. It will feel like alignment, not interruption. It will feel like peace, not pressure. This is how you will know it is from me. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. The season ahead is not about proving anything. It is about living from truth. And before this message closes, I ask you one thing, not out of obligation, but out of connection. If this message reached your heart, take a moment to respond. Like this video so it reaches others who need the same reminder. Share it with someone who is quietly holding on. Leave a comment with the word faith so this moment is marked. And subscribe to this channel to stay connected to messages meant for your journey. What you have walked through has meaning. What you are becoming has purpose. And what is ahead is unfolding at the right time. You are not forgotten. You are prepared.